double deuce.
Double indeed. Now, talking about double deuces, Perch, got a question for you, mate.
I've got an answer, go on.
We all know that you're experienced at lemon parties, but what's happened now is you've been asked to go to a swingers party, and unfortunately your missus is ill. You've even got a sprained ankle, and the swingers party you're going to is like the all-time greatest, right? And so before we get into this, who's your favourite Spurs player of all time?
Favourite Spurs player of all time? Oh
Yeah.
gosh, that's a great question.
Quick, because you're ruining the mood.
I'm going to go Harry Kane, just because he was fabulous.
Right, so what happens is, you can't really go to a swingers party alone, right? And so, for some reason, you see this DM from Harry Kane. He says, "What are you doing tonight?" He said, "Well, I'm going to this swingers party." And he goes, "Oh, I'll come with you." I can't do his accent, his voice. And so he comes with you, and the first thing he says to you is, "Listen, you've got a sprained ankle. I've just come from Germany. It's freezing. I'm not going to do. I don't know how you perform in this. It's me and you against them. I think we need to play it a bit cool." And then you say, "No, we're going to go for it." And he says, "No, but it's not great. We're going to have Gary Neville on our case. He's going to be telling us off. We need to try and play it cool a bit." And you stick to your guns, and you go into the swingers party, and you fuck them all up, literally. I don't know where I'm going with this analogy. John, can you help me out here?
I'll be honest. This is mental. What is going on?
I've been trying to work on this question, as you know, all week, and I still haven't come to a question. I mean, John helped me out with the swingers party. So, John, do you want to carry on this little analogy and lead into the question?
Well, let's just say you sit down. You and Harry. So you just completely tore up the swingers party. There's nobody left. It's just you and him hanging out. Then you feel a little, just a hand on your leg, and he says, "Perchy, I really like your style. I like your glasses. I would love to oil you up, rub our feet together, and just get down and dirty. What do you say?"
Oh, you actually want an answer? This is mental. Are we live? This is madness.
Yeah, so Hotspur Way Season 1, Episode 22.
Oh, great. Yes. Anyway, let's move on. Why do you want to make me feel awkward every time I come on this?
Your mic is crackling again. It was fine.
Yeah, it is crackling. No wonder. I'm terrified. What is these questions?
Your mic's absolutely terrible. We do apologise for Perchy's mic. He is the richest amongst us and the most famous person. He still can't sort his mic out.
The richest at all.
So as Johnny said, you want to rub your feet together. I don't know why there was plural in there. You want to rub your feet together, and you want to give him a back rub. You want to do certain things to him. He wants to do certain things to you.
Yeah, he wants to rub marmalade on your back and just get all hairy with it.
Sorry,
sure, why not?
That is the weirdest thing. Sorry, what is that a thing?
I don't fucking know. I'm sure somebody somewhere, Perchy, loves rubbing marmalade on each other. I'm positive of it. Just because people are fucking weird.
Johnny, I'm sure you know exactly what you're talking about. So what do you do, Perchy, in this? I mean, there was supposed to be an analogy with the Man City game, but that's clearly gone out the window. And we're just going down a dark alley. So just come with us down this dark alley. You and Harry.
I'll be honest. I'm going nowhere near you lot down a dark alley. You absolute lunatics. I will stand in the light where there's people around that can protect me from you absolute maniacs.
You've been to 11
Anyway,
party
guys, welcome to the show, by the way.
Yeah, and now you want to be around people. I mean, you've been around enough people in this analogy. Right. So where do we start? Well, I'll tell you what, 3-3 against City. Perchy, when I won't read out what we were saying on the group during the game, but you were expecting us to get absolutely tonked.
Yeah.
And I kept saying believe, or in my mind I did. I'm sure I wrote it somewhere, and we didn't. Right? Do you want to walk us through your mindset during the first half and the second half?
Listen, we started the game, went 1-0 up, I went, what the fuck is going on? Good God, I mean, I'll be honest, the pass from Kulu was a poor one, actually, but Son makes the absolute most of it, and does absolutely brilliant for the goal, by the way, absolutely brilliant, and then, minutes later, he goes and kicks it down the other end. I said in the group at the time, I said, what the hell is he doing? You don't need to be swinging your knee out like that. It just didn't make sense at the time. I mean, there was probably reasons for it at the time, but it didn't look like it made any sense. And you just think, oh, okay, undone a good start. And then Man City did what Man City do, is absolutely battered us. But they didn't finish their dinner. Haaland missed a couple of sitters, Foden missed a sitter, and you kind of went, you fancied us. And then we just, Phil Foden and Man City walked through us like hot butter with a very, very good goal. And you just kind of went, there you go, it's happened. And you go in it, and then on, Man City missed chance after chance after chance, and you went, this feels like it's going one way. It really did feel like that it was going one way. And then got in in the second half, got in to the break, and went, we came out second half, looked like we looked good, we had a high energy, we were a lot better in the second half, a lot better, and Lo Celso goes and grabs himself a goal, and you go, hang on a minute, what's happening here? We were the better team in the second half. Then it nearly was all ripped up again because Basuma's dillying on the ball, not dealing with it. You go 3-2 down and you go, it's game over. Just like that, you throw away after being the better team in the second half. And then, credit where credit's due, Brennan Johnson was in a great delivery, and Kulusevski goes and equalises. And listen, I didn't think we were going to get a draw. We played really well second half, but we were gifted in the sense that Man City didn't take the opportunities, and we absolutely punished them. And listen, you get a point there, you snap it. I said at the start, if you get any result at the Etihad, it's the best result of the season, and I can't go past that. It's the best result of the season.
How much credit do we have to give to the two fullbacks who are playing at centre half, or do we just clearly stay?
I'm not giving any credit. I'll be honest, Emerson was awful.
Okay, so what you're saying is that what we're doing right now is we're saying Man City were just dreadful in front of goal. It had nothing to do with us. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, that in the first half, no, Man City. If it was half time and 5-1 down, we wouldn't have been shocked. They battered us to that. They just didn't finish. Haaland missed two absolute sitters. Foden missed a sitter. And you sit there and go, hang on, wait. But listen, the games evolve, right? And you sit there at half.
Have you grabbed your mic again because it's crackling?
No, I'm just getting a little bit closer to it. It's probably why. No, I think
so just pull a little bit back. Just pretend Harry's behind you.
Gosh, honestly, why do you make it weird all the time? Why do you make it weird?
Just back away from that, yeah.
All right.
From the large black thing, and then go into the, yep.
No, what I was just saying is, like, listen, games evolve into it. Listen, I thought Man City were the better team by a country mile in the first half. I thought they battered us, but they didn't score the goals. The chances they had, as I said, Haaland missed a couple of sitters. City could have comfortably been 5-1 up at half time, and we wouldn't have had anything to say, barring they were brilliant, but they didn't. And gratefully, it kept us in the game, right? And I think that's the key bit for me. We stayed in the game enough to get a result. Because, as I said, you go into the break at 5-1 down, game's over, right? It's game over. But we kept ourselves in the game, and you've got to credit where credit's due. We kept ourselves in the game.
And how did we keep ourselves in the game? John, we before Perchy came on, we were gleaning about the philosophy talk. Do you want to just tell the listeners? And we've actually got a few thousand listeners already. We started off.
Hello, listeners. That's so awesome.
Yeah, when did we start off, Perchy? We started off in end of June.
Yeah.
28th of June. I remember 2 days after my birthday, and we've already got a few thousand listeners, which is great. Nearing 5,000 now, which is wow.
Fantastic.
So, do you want to tell everyone about us smiling before Perchy came on because of our philosophy chat, Johnny?
Yeah, I think we were discussing that we appreciated that no philosophy changes have taken place. That Ange has stuck to Ange Ball. He's doing his own thing, because when a leader shifts midstream, you lose trust from everybody watching. You lose buy-in from we'll call them your employees, or in this case, obviously our players. You lose the connection and the overall motivation of everybody involved. You lose the momentum. It's when you have to stick to it. I think you have to stick to it. We brought him in to be attacking, to be all out attacking, to be fun-loving, football man, and that's what he's doing. And I greatly appreciate it for him, or appreciate him for it. I do have to go to something that Perchy said, and this is one of my pet peeves when you talk about any sport, to remove like those, the Holland misses did not happen in a vacuum. Yeah, we'll say that we played some poor defense in the first half. Even the second half, there was like Emerson, wowza. But we weren't. It didn't happen in a vacuum. You know, maybe Holland felt pressure from something, even if it was 2 feet away. There still are players doing something to contribute something in a way to defend, to help defend.
Chance. He was what, 5 yards out on goal for a tap in unmarked, right? That's just poor from him, right?
It is poor. It is poor. But don't take. I understand that he missed it, and it's a poor shot from him, and all that. But don't discount. It didn't happen in a vacuum. That's all I'm saying. The game that miss did not happen in a vacuum.
What do you mean by that, though? What do you mean?
I mean that it didn't. It wasn't It wasn't a completely isolated event. There were still things happening around him. He had to think about it.
But you could say that about anything,
you know what I mean?
Though,
Absolutely.
That's why.
And that's why I don't like. That's why I said my pet peeve about all sports commentary is when somebody says, "Oh, this is when." Before last week's match against Man City, they would say, this is Man City's match to lose." Well, that's completely taken fucking Tottenham out of it when you say stuff like that. And I'm not saying you said that, but what I'm saying is it doesn't happen by itself. There's always conditions, and there's always conditions to everything. However, there's conditions to anything that happens in that massive system of 11v11, right?
Yeah.
So to say that Holland was, he could have punched that in with his pinky toe. Well, he didn't though. So who knows if Emerson's hair on his head was shifted a little bit to the right instead of a little bit to the left, maybe it went in. I don't know, because you just can't test it like that. You can't test the hypothesis that's saying, oh, well, he should have made it. Well, he didn't. So fantastic. And we got a 3-3 out of it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but
can I just say something? Perchy, so I 100% and wholeheartedly agree with what Johnny has said, and that's why I asked that question. Sport, in fact, life in general, and especially sport, where it's high tempo and things are happening. When we say fast paced, this is, it makes fast paced look like you backing into Kane, right? But one minute. I just want to say something. Let me just finish my point, right? It's not binary. We don't know what sweet nothings were being whispered into his ears throughout that game. Like, for instance, when I played rugby and I played football as well, what I would do, and it's one of my things that I think I'm quite good at, is the psychology of getting into the opponent's minds and winding them up. Like I would start massaging 7-foot tall rugby players, right? And I would start trying to grab their dick and whatever, and they'll start swinging elbows and whatever, and then they'll be sent off. And I used to do this all the time, and I wasn't the greatest, okay? And that's what I would do. I would wind them up somewhat silly, because I knew that I had to play this advantage. I had to play that hand. Because if we were just there to say, right, we're gonna follow our tactics, and that's all we're gonna do, and we're not gonna do anything else, and if they take their chances and they win, that's not a game. So it's not just about how you play football with the ball; it's what you do when you're not actually. Of course,
it is about how you play football with the ball.
It's not. It's when you. It's when you don't.
Because we all said last week. Sorry, but we said all last week. Spurs were unlucky against Villa. Spurs didn't put away their chances, blah, blah, blah. If we'd done that, we'd have won the game. We all said that last week. Yeah. Now we're changing the goalpost because because Man City missed their chances. So I think we have to be balanced with it. Man City missed glorious opportunities in that first half. I think they hit the crossbar once and the post twice. Haaland missed a couple of absolute sitters, and you kind of just went, feels like our game. Look, it doesn't matter. All that stuff you're talking about happens every game. That's irrelevant. That's irrelevant to the grand scheme of it. Did Man City score all their chances? No. Did Spurs score all their opportunities? Yes. Spurs go and get a point at Man City because of it. That's the.
Does that mean we're a better team then because we took advantage of the opportunities when we had them?
I think a draw was a fair result. I think a draw.
That wasn't the question, Perchy. That wasn't the question. I said, were we the better team? Were we the better team
on the day?
Yeah, because like you said, we took advantage of the opportunities because we took advantage of the opportunities that were given us.
No, I think Man City were massively wasteful. I don't think Spurs were better. I think Man City created more. I think a draw was a fair result. I think Man City created loads, didn't score all their chances. Spurs, when they got their opportunity, they took them, right? That's the difference maker. We took where the difference with us from the week before when we lost to Villa, and I said that first half an hour was some of the best football I've seen us play in years, amounted to nothing. Spurs didn't play the best yet against Man City, but they were clinical when it was needed, and that's what got us the point. Sometimes in football, right, you can be amazing and play pretty beautiful football, but you don't win the game. Spurs had to dig in. It was actually, do you know what? It was a very, very character-building opportunity from character-building moment from these players. A lot of these players get criticised for not digging in deep. A lot of them dug in deep, and we got a result, rightly so, because we were brilliant second half. I think, and I think that's the key bit for me. I think it's not about us being better than Man City. I think it was a fair game. I think a draw was a fair result. But listen, you take a point. As I said, you get any result at the Etihad, it's the best result of the season.
I agree. So before we get into the questions, so Hannah was going to be on, but she couldn't. Small family emergency. Hannah, I hope you're doing all right, darling, and she'll be on next week, hopefully. So, do we have a question for Perchy?
I think so. We do. This is from Craig in. Oh God, I'm going to slaughter another England name here. Hertfordshire. Did I get it?
Hertfordshire.
Hertfordshire.
Yep, close enough. Hertfordshire. Hertfordshire.
It's
an E.
Yeah, I know, but you know the word light, right? It's got a G and an H in it. I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, it's the same sort of thing.
Okay, whatever. That city. Out of all the moronic pundits who were telling Ange he had to play differently in the build-up to City, which one were you pleased to have a massive fuck you to?
What do you mean, to who?
To all the pundits. Yeah, all the pundits were saying Ange needs to change this. Yep, all that.
No, listen, I think people are allowed opinions. I think I always say this all the time. I think when people take things like pundits' point of views so gospel-like, for me, they're just like every single one of us. We're just football fans. They're allowed an opinion, rightly or wrongly, what their opinion. As I said, you could argue, and I'll kind of politically answer this in a political kind of way, as like a politician, but
Jesus
you could argue
Christ.
if Man City had won 5-1, I'm just spitballing, you could have argued, yeah, like they have every right to, but they didn't. I think the manager has to play the way he plays. I think for the longevity of him and this football club, he has to. I think we all lose games by playing that way, but I think he has to stick with it because I think, for me personally, I think it's the right ethos that we have to run by. Personally.
All right. Well, I'm going to tell the pundit named Perchy that he can piss off because he was downplaying Spurs last week, and I was all in.
Spurs?
I was all in. I wanted them to I knew they were going to win. I knew they were going to get something out of that.
When did I downplay Tottenham? When have I downplayed us at all?
Not downplayed. You know what I'm saying, Perchy. Don't be pedantic now.
I haven't downplayed Spurs. I think I've been quite realistic with everything I've said. Everything I've said has happened, by the way. So I don't understand how I've downplayed.
It did not. Wait a minute. Well, you can't say that because your prediction last week was we were going to lose 5-1, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That didn't happen.
Yeah. No, individual results. Yeah. I mean, I'm not specifically getting individual results.
That's the question we're talking about.
No. But you just said you were saying like.
You're the pundit. You're the pundit I want to tell to piss off this week.
Why? Because I didn't even say that he should stop the way he's playing. When did I say?
Well,
that?
I'll give you that. I never said you said that. I just said that last week you. No, it said yeah. Well, all right, fine. You got me there. Yeah. You win that argument. Still, piss off.
I win most.
I'm gonna call out Steph. He's the owner of Loft, which all of you are going to come to in the new year in Limassol. Steph, I know you're listening. You see what happens when we don't change our philosophy? That's all I'm going to say about that. Right. Now, there's one thing I do want to bring to everyone's attention. Maybe you've seen this on Twitter, X. Ben Spurs, so that's at Hubsy, HUBBSY 85. His wife Sandy unfortunately died of cancer a few days ago. She's been battling a very rare form of cancer for a few months. So they set up a GoFundMe page so that their little boy Reuben could have, the best start in life. And I really advise you all to go and do what you can to help baby Reuben. It's a very sad time right now for Ben. So Ben, our hearts go out to you. And Coys, mate, Coys. Do we have any other questions, or should we talk about? I think we should talk about Kulusevski just for a bit.
Yes.
Because I think that a lot of people forget how old he is. I think he looks, well, for me personally, he looks older than 23. And I just think that he's really developing into a classy player, and one that we can't do without. Whether he plays on the right or in the centre, he makes that position his own. And he drew the game. For me, it was like a win, but he drew the game for us. Who cares if his header came off his shoulder? He still was there in the right position, right at the death, to see us get that point. And so, Johnny, do you have anything to say about him? Do you want to sing his praises?
Absolutely. I think this season he's had he's just been wonderful from all angles that he's played in. I think he's played almost every minute of all the matches, if I'm wrong, right?
Yeah, he has.
And he's always hustling, beginning and middle of the match. He's always hustling, running his ass off. And I guess I didn't realize how young he was either. Just he feels more mature than that too. Not just his look, but he feels much more mature than he plays. And I hope he loves Spurs for a long time, because I think he's a great addition to the squad. Love it.
Perchy, mate, do you have anything to say about him or any other players?
Yeah, no, I thought Kulu was the best player on the pitch for us. I thought he was brilliant. I prefer him down the middle. I think he gets very, very lost in games out on the right. I think I want to see him more centrally than I do. I think he's better. I think technically he's a brilliant football player, but I think when he plays out on the right, he gets very lost in games very quickly.
I think he gets stale when he's on the right, Perch. It's like his creativity completely loses himself.
He's very, very predictable on the right. I
think
if you're a left back, you're sitting there going, I don't mind marking him out on the right, because he does the same thing. You just got to see him out wide, and he'll just play it back. But down the middle, I think he's brilliant. I think he links up really well. I'd be intrigued to see where he plays when Maddison's back. I'll be honest, I don't want to see him out on the right. I really don't. I think I like him down the middle. I'd like to see maybe him and Maddison in the middle in some sort of formation. Would be quite nice to see. But yeah, and I listen, credit where credit's due. I thought he was our best player against City. I thought he was the one that started everything, and he got the game ticking.
100%. And I'll tell you what, there was a lot of love for Lo Celso as well. And all I'm going to say about Lo Celso is, yeah, he played well. He did. In the first half, there wasn't too many of our players that played well. But you know what? With Lo Celso, he's been with us for four and a bit years. 4.5 nearly, I would say. Go as far as saying that. And we've not really seen him. We saw him a little bit under Mourinho. But did that count? I don't think so. And I do believe that what we need to do is just give this guy time. And he's going to have time. Because if Maddison won't be back until the new year, then we've got another 6 games this month. Right? We've got one on Thursday. We'll talk about West Ham in a bit. And we've got Newcastle at home on Sunday as well. And so it's interesting to see this player develop. And finally, we're starting to see glimpses, aren't we, of why Pochettino wanted him, and I think that's great. I think it's great that we've got what looks like some squad depth, but then we talk about Brian Hill, and tell you what, I don't believe in the slight business and that he's small, because I've seen small guys destroy people who are twice the size of them, right? I think what he is he's slight in his mentality, and he may be one of those players that ends up becoming fantastic, but right now he needs to bulk up in his mind more than his body. That's what I really believe, because there was a lot of times where he was just brushed off the ball. I also used to think, I don't know why, maybe a lot of us did, that he was fast, but he's not even quick. Perchy, what do they say about him in Spain?
Look, I'll just sort of touch on it with Brian Hill. I think with Brian Hill, technically decent player, has no end product. One of the most frustrating players to watch, because you see him go on, do something. Pass is poor, cross is poor, decision making's not good enough. I think we've seen enough of it. Well, is it rust because he's not played a lot of football? Or is it that actually he hasn't got an end product? And if he hasn't got an end product, I'd get rid of him. But listen, I think it's a worry, because you've got a squad player in him that it's all well and good having a player, but if he's got no end product, what's the point? He was liked in Spain. Sevilla, they liked him in Sevilla. Sevilla won the Europa League, of course. Yeah, I'm a bit unsure with him at the moment. I like him. There's something about him I like, but if you've got no end product, I'm not sitting here with sentiment. I couldn't care less. If you've got no end product, I don't want you at the football club. We need better players, right? I mean, everyone talks about winning the league and stuff. I want better players so we can win the league. So, listen, I'm not going to sit here with sentiment and stuff. Like, I think if he can start showing a bit more productivity, then great. But I can't see it. And just to sort of touch on Lo Celso, I think he's having a good run. He's given a nice patch of football. But again, I've seen enough of him at Spurs where I'm just like, I'm not sure about him. I don't think he's a number 10 though. Mate, I think he's a number 8.
But how have you seen enough of him?
He's been in Spurs under so many managers and just done nothing. Like,
but he's. I think I've played nearly as many minutes. I don't understand. There's a lot of people that say, he
played loads under. He was playing a lot under Jose. He played a lot under Jose.
Look, a lot of people were raving about him at the time, right? It was during Project Restart, right? And they were personally, I didn't know why everyone was raving about him at the time. I saw him put in a few good performances, but I think now he's in a side that's sort of settled, and I think now we're going to get to see him.
Yeah, to a certain degree.
To a certain degree. But I think we need to just give him a few more games, and he's going to have them.
Well, I think that's the key bit. Listen, I always sit with consistency, right? I think it's one of the key words I use. It's all well and good playing, having a couple of good games, scoring a couple of goals. That's great. It's all well and good. But I need to see more, right? Listen, if people want to use him as the sort of heir to Maddison in air quotes, I personally don't think he's a number 10. I think he's better deeper, more of a deep lying playmaker where he picks up the ball from deep and can dictate a little bit more from there. I think he plays a lot better, more as your sort of attacking number 8, so to speak.
So what? He's a number 6. Is that what you're saying?
No, like a number 8, but more of an attacking number 8. Your number 6 was Basuma, weren't it?
Yeah, I mean,
Basuma's your 6. Basuma's your deep midfielder that tries to pick up the ball, whereas Lo Celso will pick up and be quite good on the ball. He's nice on the ball. It's stereotypically odd. He's very South American in a sense. He's very good on the ball. He's very tidy on that. What we need to see is him in a run of games. Now he's got a run of games. I expect him to start against West Ham on Thursday. Sorry, we play. So I expect him to play there. What I want to see with the likes of Lo Celso, it's all well and good doing it for a couple of games. I want to see him doing it for 5, 6, 7 games, doing it consistently. Then I'll go, okay, maybe we can keep a hold of this guy. We can only find out as and when, right?
Yeah, Johnny, did you see the shadow run that Son made so that Lo Celso could score? Did you see what he did? Have you seen the call back?
No, I've got to go back and watch it, I guess.
So what he did is, when Lo Celso was about to get the ball, what Son did is he ran off and he took, was it 1 or 2 players with him? And so Lo Celso then had that space to then do what he did, which was great. I love goals when they just pass it into the net. And that's what he did. And that was really made because of Son. And yeah, great. Now, Bissouma, I've seen a lot of people like, I wouldn't say death threats, but saying he's useless, he's rubbish, he's buying his own hype, all of that jazz. I don't believe it. I think he was all right. Yeah, he made a mistake. He did. You know, we all make mistakes. Most of the cretins on Twitter are mistakes in themselves. So, I mean, yeah, let's just not jump on the bandwagon. I mean, has he been the same since Luton? No. We don't know what's going on. Although there is one thing. Remember a few podcasts ago I said you've got to listen to what Ange says, these little tidbits that he gives out. And what he said is something that happened to me. This was probably back in 2015, when I joined a company as head of department. I was told that there was this wonder kid who was just fantastic. Won't mention any names, and he was, but he would come in late all the time. And so I had a chat with him as well, and I said, "Listen, you've got to apply yourself, because talent will get you so far, but application will take you the rest of the way." And do you remember what Ange said about Bissouma? Like, he said to him, I want you to step up, I want you to be one of the leaders here. And then the next day he turned up late. So does he have that in his game, in his locker? The fact that maybe he's not always dedicated, or he can't focus 100%? Maybe. So is he the type of player that we're going to see him perform really well in, like outstandingly world-class in a pocket of games, and then not so much? Possibly. That's all I'm saying about that. Hopefully it proves me wrong. I love being proved wrong about things like this, but yeah, let's just see how that goes.
Yeah,
I
thought Bissouma was awful on Sunday. I thought he was really poor.
Awful's
by the way, hang
mate.
on.
And your mic is driving me up the fucking wall.
Okay, but hang on. I'm trying to You always ruin my train of thought. Okay, so no, like, I think for me, I thought Bissouma was awful against City. I thought he was really poor. I mean, he was the reason we gave away the third goal. And yeah, I think there was a lot of problems. And listen, I don't think he's been the same. By the way, I love Bissouma. I think he's a brilliant football player. I think he will be fine with us. But he's going through a really, really bad patch. But the bad patch keeps on happening. And I don't know what the answer is. But I am a little bit worried at the moment, because we need players like him to start stepping up a bit more. Let's be honest, he's one of the main guys in the team. So he has to step up, and it doesn't help him getting booked all the time and suspended here and there, because it doesn't help, because you're in and out of the squad. He should be the mainstayer in midfield. He should be the first name on the team sheet in midfield, but he's not, because he's either suspended, getting booked. He's one of the worst disciplined players in the league at the moment. That's not good enough. We need better from our midfielders at the moment, but I think he'll get there. But I do get a little bit worried at the moment that is this bad spell the spell, or is it just, as I said, a bad spell, and we're going to see a bit more from him because we need to? We're definitely not got the Bissouma from the start of the season, let's be honest.
Johnny, you want to say something about him?
I was going to ask how many minutes he's had since that suspension, since the second suspension. Obviously, the Luton was one, but I guess he was suspended last week against Aston too, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was suspended against Villa. Because he got 5 yellow cards.
I've never heard anyone just call them Aston. That's great. You should just call them Aston.
I mean, they are from Aston.
What a shithole Aston is.
Yeah, it isn't the greatest.
So to our American listeners, and this is when you know that Johnny's really posh. Johnny is from Detroit and lives in Detroit in a nice area, and I mean, I know that Belmont in Detroit is somewhere where you don't really want to. You don't want to take your dog out for a walk.
No. Like
at a certain point, and I was trying to explain to Johnny during one of our chats. Yeah, I think during the game, right, that Aston is like Belmont. And he didn't know where Belmont was.
Can't be that bad.
I'm from Palmer's Green in North London, and I knew where Belmont is. And now you're calling them Aston, which is fantastic. Please just call them Aston. If we call them Villa, you just have to call them Aston.
Perfect. It's a deal.
Perfect.
It's a deal. So I think going back to Basuma, I think he obviously something changed when he got sent off against Fulham, right? Was it Fulham?
No, he got sent off against Luton.
Was it? God, why is my memory
he
failing
got sent
me?
off against Luton Town.
Oh, that's
2
right.
bookings.
Yep. He hasn't been right since then. So I don't know if.
I agree.
And I remember that story from the beginning of the season that you just told James about Ange giving him basically a big pat on the back to say, listen, these guys look up to you. You're a leader. Own it. And he fucked up the next day. So maybe he's and there's also that story going around that he has something going on in his personal life. So it could be between the ears that he has an issue. That he just needs to get his fucking head straight. But I like him.
No, I like him as well. So just say something about Ange, and not just about Ange, but Ange is like people that have a similar personality to Ange. I can't. Right, this is sort of a half-assed story because I don't really know Ange. Well, I don't know him at all. I just know him through just following his career and seeing him being our manager and whatnot. But what's really interesting is people like Ange don't really say a story about Bissouma like that unless they want a message to be sent to the actual player. Mm-hmm. So why did he wasn't just doing it for kicks or laughs. He wasn't just saying, oh yeah, I told him to do this and the next day just, he turned up late. There's normally meaning behind it. Highly intelligent people like Ange who are leaders, there's normally a reason to why they say and do certain things. So yeah, just look out for these little tidbits from Ange. You can build quite a big picture from it. Doesn't always mean you're going to be right or we're going to be right, but yeah, I think there's something going on right now, and with him, we'll see. We'll see how he goes. Right? Do we have any more questions?
Of course we do. Of course. Let's see here. We'll go with Joshua from Portsmouth. Portsmouth. We'll go Portsmouth. If you could score, I think the funniest part of the questions is really me pronouncing the cities.
Butchering. Portsmouth.
If you could score a goal for Tottenham, how would you score it? Who would you want it to be against? What stadium would you want it to be in? And whose knob would you put up your bum when you're celebrating? Well, I mean, we know Perchy's answer. That would be Kane.
1 minute. Is this from Twitter?
The weirdest question. What? sorry, hang on.
No,
the first bit, I get it. Yeah,
you've got to give it some context, Johnny. I can tell you.
Context is up your backside. Context.
You are listening to Hotspur Way, the adult Tottenham podcast. So what happened was this came in on Twitter, right? So you can send us your questions. Yes. At Hotspur Way Show on X Twitter, and you can also send them to @MuddyBackyard. I actually haven't asked ChatGPT what Muddy Backyard. Oh, now I know what it means. Okay, right. Okay, I just figured it out. I don't need to ask ChatGPT what. Yeah. So
you just gotta say it out loud.
Yeah. Well, anyway, just think about it for a minute, right? Perchy. So what happened was, who was it from Portsmouth?
Joshua.
So Joshua sent in a question, and I think we asked him to spice because it wasn't spicy enough.
I said, good question, thank you. Next time, put something about some dick jokes or something else in it. And he said, okay, then whose knob would you put up your bum when you're celebrating? So
it's just weird. Like, the question is good. By the way, the question is good until he adds that. It just doesn't need it. It's just not needed. It's a question until that's it. Like, it has no context or anything.
This is so funny. Listening to he's squealing again. It's like
I'm not squealing. It's just it doesn't make sense.
It makes perfect sense. There's loads of context to the question. So Perchy, you get to play for Spurs, and is it for Spurs?
Yeah, it says if you score a goal for Spurs. So I guess you could play for an opponent and it would be an own goal. But yeah, I would just go with Spurs.
If you score an own goal against Spurs, then you do need something up your ass. But listen, so Perchy, you're playing for Spurs on your debut, and which team do you want to score against? Does it say what type of goal it is as well? Does he ask that?
How would you score it?
Right,
Who would
yeah.
it be against? How are you celebrating it? Well, we can change it for Perchy because obviously the knob and the bum makes him uncomfortable. How about whose tit
Well,
would
if
you
he
put
doesn't,
in your mouth?
No, I mean if he doesn't choose the player, then we have to choose it for him.
Sorry.
So Perchy,
He already chose
It
Kane
just
earlier
doesn't make
anyways. So
sense. Like, I don't get the point. So what? I score a goal and then what, I've got to then take one for the team. Is that how? I
take one for Harry.
It.
It's just,
yeah,
yeah. It's like you go into the corner, you celebrate, and all of a sudden you see Harry. He looks into your eyes.
Why
and
is
you
it
look
got
into
to be
his.
Harry?
Because
that's who
your
you said
favourite
earlier.
player. Yeah, he's your
That's who
favourite
you'd go-
player.
Yeah, favourite player.
That's who you'd go to your pineapple party with.
Harry doesn't play for Tottenham. I'm so. This is mental. Look, I'll answer the first part because this is madness. This is madness. Like, look, what do I want to see? What do I want? Like, look, goal I want to see. You've got to score against the Arsenal. Arsenal away. Arsenal away. And yeah, like a 30-yard like half volley would be a fucking magic, wouldn't it? Top bins, run to the away end and go absolutely crazy. Score the winner against Arsenal at the Emirates, 100%.
And what minute are you scoring in?
Huh?
What minute are you scoring in?
The 88th minute, like right at the end of the game.
Perfect.
The whole away end goes ballistic.
Absolutely.
The game.
I can picture it now, right? So with VAR, there's an extra 12 minutes for you to get your aim.
Yeah.
so, like, if you had said 98 minutes, you would have 30 seconds. You know, it wouldn't have been fun. But then you got a full 12 minutes of yeah. Well, if it's not Harry, then it's someone else, and I'll pick him for you. Ollie Skip. There you go.
Yes. Yeah.
Ollie Skip. He likes the way you
the
look,
most
mate.
depressing player as well. Like, there's no like.
Oh, you're gonna.
And you got 12 minutes. You got 12 minutes of the most depressing action you're ever going to see, mate. So yeah, that's.
What is happening to this podcast? Like, what?
I like when you say it's happened. It's like there was something better, and then it became this. I mean,
I don't know where all the sort of sex and mental jokes came out.
I'm blaming
Johnny. I'm blaming Johnny.
I'm blaming Hannah.
That's fine.
I mean,
That's fine.
I want to blame Hannah. She should be listening to this and laughing right now. So, before we get on to West Ham, any more questions? How many more questions did we get? We got quite a few in. Did we get any?
We got one more that I was tracking. I think Ross got one, but I'm not positive. We have one more, but it's to Hannah, so we'll save that for next week.
All right, we'll save that for next week then.
Yes, Richard from oh boy, it's for Richard from Lewisham, Lewisham,
Lewisham,
Lewisham, London.
Hey, from Lewisham.
Segue to West Ham, or is it West Ham? I'm not too sure.
Unbelievable.
So,
Yeah.
right.
Lewisham.
First of all, why is it? What's the 15 minutes for? Why is it 8:15? Anyone know what the 15 minutes are for? I mean, Johnny, before you came on, said it was so that what was the reason? So that
the pundits could wank each other off. The match starts at 3:15 Eastern Standard Time. It's 8:15. Jesus Christ, 3 plus 5. Yeah.
9:15 for me.
10 for me.
Why the 15 minutes?
Yeah, the pundits wouldn't need that long.
Why is it the 15 minutes? No, it's to break up both games, isn't it? They're on telly, so it means that one half. So the first game starts at, which would be 8:30 for me, means it's 45 minutes ahead. It's so they can put two games on at the same time. I think. I don't know. I may have just completely made up, but I think it's because of that.
That would have been all right, but then we've got this VAR thing, right? So that doesn't make any sense.
Honestly, some people aren't getting home until about 3 in the morning. I mean, and that's just leaving the stadium.
Right, I need to ask this question. So, I've read that what they're planning to do is hand over more control to VAR.
Yeah.
Have you read this?
Oh, it's one of the worst things I've ever heard.
So, can I ask this question? So, this is a question for me now. If something isn't working, why then would you try to make it work less?
Because they've put so much money into it, they're doubling down on it and just going, what we'll do is we'll just basically regulate everything. So
what
the
money?
referees
Sorry,
are...
what have you seen Stockley Park? Have you seen that little container? That
Oh yeah. No, you should live not too far from
that's
that.
like that's 8 IKEA chairs We're talking about £3,000 worth of kit in there, right? They can't even get a signal from White Hart Lane to them. So what might, because everyone talks about the money that's being invested. You know what this sounds like, right? Because I lived in Lebanon for a time. So whenever the government wanted to do something and they needed, let's say, a new toilet in an office, the toilet would cost $7 million. It wouldn't. I mean, that's what the government would pay for it, because there was a lot of brown cars and not just envelopes going through the coffers. Something doesn't make sense. What money? Is there like a report on it? Are there financial statements that we can see? Because everyone, even the officials say that there's a lot of money that's been spent. So what money?
Oh, it's all like the crappy. Honestly, like, I'll be honest, it is ruined. It's ruined football. Let's be honest. I think can we all agree collectively that VAR has ruined
100%.
a beautiful game? Like, honestly, like, it takes forever to get a decision. Like, do you know the ones that really get to me? The ones, you know, when you see an offside, you go, okay, fair enough, he's offside. And you're going 3 minutes later, and they're still checking. Why? I've looked at the picture, he's offside, let's get on with it. Or he's clearly onside, why are we still waiting? Like, why does it take... it? I've never known anything take forever. Like, I like the goal line technology, is automatic. Boom, yeah, it's gone over. Get the automated offside thing that they had. Get that in. That was great. Worked. Boom. He's offside. Cool. We can move on. I'm just bored of it. Like, we talk about VAR every single week. It was meant to be in to just be in the background, quietly getting on with it, and we can just move on. We talk about VAR more than we talk about players anymore nowadays. It's mental. Mm-hmm. Honestly, it's mental.
So let's move on then. West Ham. Are we going to win? Perchy.
Don't want a quick answer or the long answer?
We've been going for 46 minutes.
Oh, I'll go quick. Yeah, we're going to beat West Ham.
How much?
There's the enthusiasm. We love it.
No, we are. We'll beat West Ham. We're going to win 3-1. That's my prediction.
I think that we're going to have a lot of space in that game. Talking to some West Ham mates, like I know quite a few people who support West Ham, but I don't really know any who support Chelsea. Oh no, that's a lie. There's one who's in Larnaca that supports Chelsea, but yeah, and they've said it as well that they can't see a result from them in this game, and they're sort of shitting it. But you know what? It's West Ham, so right now they're in M&S. That's Marks and Spencer. Do you have Marks and Spencer in America, Johnny? I don't know. So they're getting their suits kitted out, aren't they? You know, in preparation for this, they're getting their DVDs ready, just in case. Is Sarr going to be back for this one, mate?
No, I think he's still out. I think he's out for a while, from what I read. 2 or 3
Romero will
weeks.
be back, right? Romero's the one that will be back, which is a massive, because it means Emerson Royale won't be starting. Thank the Lord.
The other thing though is that is it the first time, and I think it is, that Richarlison will play against what's his name? He's a Spurs fan as well. The one guy who plays up front for him. I forgot his name.
Who? Jared Bowen?
No, the other one. He was a right back.
Who was a right back?
Yeah, they said him as a right back. I can't. What's his name?
Antonio.
Yeah.
The whole
podcast.
Antonio thing.
Yeah.
Isn't Antonio's injured though?
Oh, is he?
Yeah, I think Antonio's out injured at the moment.
I think he's been playing like he's injured for the last 3 seasons, so it doesn't really matter, does it? But Richarlison came on in the last game. Did he change the game? I don't think so. I mean, he does what he does, right? Will he play in this game? No. I think we're going to have the same lineup. Do you think
he has to go same lineup?
Yeah, but do you think Hill will play?
Listen, it's a juggle of what's good, like the bad and bad. Who's worse, right? I mean, I for one, I wouldn't switch it up. I would go same and then put obviously Romero in for Royale. I mean, that obviously is the change I'd make. Yeah, I don't know. I think he might end up going Richarlison. Listen, look, there is a potential that Richarlison could work here. Look, we know what West Ham are going to do. They're going to make it hard for us to play our football, which is understandable.
Weren't you selling Richarlison to Saudi Arabia, regardless of whether a team bought him?
No. We should be selling Richarlison as quick as possible.
Oh, okay. But you want him to play?
100%.
You want him to start? I don't understand.
No. I'm saying I could see. I'm not saying he should start. I'm suggesting the manager might decide to start him on the basis of what West Ham are going to do. Richarlison, whether you like, he's good in the air, right? Like, he's relatively good in the air. I say that. I'm trying to be too nice there, but
only when Perisic throws it up there.
West Ham are going to be very defensive against us, right? They're going to sit in. You're going to need someone to try and like be a bit of a bully to like someone that to their back four. So maybe starts. Personally, I think you don't change the lineup, barring the Romero for Royale.
Right. So the back four sort of sorted, and we didn't really give any praise to Davis. Ben Davis. I think you know what, he's a great professional. Yeah, he may not be the best, but he's been asked to play as a centre back, and he's doing what he can. And you see him in the game, like he was so pumped when he cleared that ball, and I don't mind, and I think that he will be the centre back until Van der Ven comes back alongside Romero.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And so that's
I think he's been great.
Yeah, so
totally agree.
That's our back four sorted. Then we've got, if we're going to go with Bissouma at 6, then we're going to have Lo Celso in there, right? Who else?
What, in midfield?
Yeah.
We'll
then
go
we're going
Kulu, Lo Celso, Bissouma.
Right. And Son up top.
Son down the middle, Johnson on the right, Gill on the left is how I would do it.
So you would play Gill?
Yeah. I think though the manager will go Richarlison, but I personally
I don't know if he's ready though, mate. I don't know if he's ready. That's the thing.
I mean, is he ever ready? Let's be fair. Like, is he ever ready?
Geez.
Is he ever ready? Like, let's be fair
I
with
that. I have to agree with Perchy though on this.
His heart's always ready.
Oh, I don't care if his heart's already. So's mine. I wouldn't be playing left wing for Spurs. We can't be judging it on that. Listen, I think I'll be honest, I think he's an awful football player and we need to sell him as quick as possible. If he's ready, then I think he would start in, depending on his fitness though, but I don't want him to. I think you've got to go Brian Hill.
Oh,
yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. I was just giving you shit. He's what was his injury anyways?
Being a very, very bad football player.
His pelvis. He broke his pelvis or cracked.
Yeah. He had surgery, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, so many things we should be saying on this podcast about Richarlison's pelvis, but I think we'll give that one a miss.
We'll be professionals this time. It pisses Perchy off.
When Hannah's on, we can ask, and she'll give us an in-depth answer on that. But I think that the problem I have with Hill starting on the left is that you've got West Ham who are, they're bullies. Mm-hmm. They've got a manager who's a bully and he plays a certain way. And if I'm Moyes, I don't even have to tell my team, you don't even have to really go in hard on this guy. Just look at him. I'll just show a few instances where you can show his mental ineptness, when it comes to physicality, and there you go. Just do what you need to do with him. So, but then again, if you're not going to play Hill, who do you play? Richarlison can't. I don't think he's ready. So who do you play in that? Do we have anyone else in the squad? Who else can play there?
No, we've got nobody.
So we're okay. So it's the same. So you wouldn't play. So look, we've got the chance of playing Højbjerg, right? So we've got the chance of playing Højbjerg as a number 6, Biss as an 8, Kulu as a 10, and then am I missing players?
Lo Celso, you're basically swapping Højbjerg for Lo Celso.
Yeah. So Lo Celso on the right and
no, not for me. Can't play. You got to play Johnson on the right. You can't not put Johnson on the right.
Yeah,
Johnson.
I think I know. He's
brilliant there.
That's where he plays, right? He's a forward right player. So, right, I'm gonna go. We're gonna win 3-2. But I've got.
God, you're so negative. I went 3-1. You're so negative.
No. If you just let me finish.
Yes.
I think it's going to be the 3-2 is going to be very flattering for West Ham. That's what I think, and it'll be fairly comfortable for us. There'll be spells in the game where they're coming at us, but any alien watching this game would have said, the better team won by a country mile in Lewisham.
Lewisham.
Yeah, and Portsmouth. Are we done, by the way? Have we wrapped everything up?
I didn't get.
Well,
I want to know what Johnny's prediction is.
Yeah, I was just saying my prediction.
Oh, sorry.
Have some respect for Johnny. Come on.
That's right. Thanks, Perchy. See, jeez.
Yeah, I've got your back, mate.
Thanks, buddy.
Don't get bullied by him.
Well, Harry's got your back, mate. I mean.
All right, enough backing. I'm going to say Spurs 2, West Ham 0, because Romero's going to come in and have a fucking career day. That's what I think.
You know that if he gets sent off again and it's a straight red, you know it's 4 games he gets banned for this time.
What's that? Oh, what if he gets another sending off? Yeah, it's 4.
Yeah, if it's violent conduct again, it's 4. It's 4 games.
I think. Do you know what? Like, I think on what Johnny said's got a good point. I think we need a clean sheet. I can't. It feels like ages since we had a clean sheet. It was like Fulham, which felt like we don't get many clean sheets, right? So I think that's a key one. I think.
Well, Hannah's just said other than Johnny that we're going to win 3-0. So that's a clean sheet for you.
No, that's what I'm saying. So like,
waiting for Ross. He's playing.
I hope we're right because I think we need a clean sheet more than anything now because we haven't had one for a long time.
I know, but more importantly, Ross is playing Fortnite right now with Owen. I've never played Fortnite.
So we're playing Fortnite.
Yeah, it's a game.
Isn't that the one where you got like build a house and stuff?
No, that's Minecraft, isn't it?
I honestly have no idea.
I know. So my missus bought me a PS5, and to be honest with you, I've played on it for 3 minutes. And you know you're old when like I have it in the office, right? And it's in the chill room. I've got a chill room for the staff, and you know you're old when they pass you a controller and you look at it and it takes you 3 minutes to figure out what they've just given you, and then they thrash you in 3 minutes. It was a zombie shooting up game, to the point where I just handed the controller back and just like moonwalked out of the chill room, and that was it. That's me and computer games. Are they even called computer games anymore? What are they even called now? Yeah, so I mean, just give me like New Zealand Story, Bubble Bobble, Street Fighter 2, and I'm all right. You know, and even WrestleFest. Oh, Ross is 2-1, so there you go.
Ooh.
2-1, interesting.
Talking of, one. Luton Town have just scored 1-1.
Who are they playing? And why are we talking about
Arsenal?
Town? Why do you call them the Arsenal? It's like giving them this respect.
Yeah, because it's just because them lot say it. I say it more as a joke. Good goal as well, by the way. More as a joke because they say it.
I thought we just called them scum. I thought they were just called scum.
Them lot will go. They call themselves the Arsenal, so I do it as more of a joke. It's a good goal, by the way.
How
about us, the scum? The scum?
Yeah, whatever you want to call them, but it's Luton Town 1, Arsenal 1.
So I wasn't worried about them last season. I knew that they would crumble, but I'm worried about them this season because if City don't start, what am I talking about? City will kick into gear, won't they?
Yeah, of course they will. They do every year. They'll go and win 15 on the bounce, sort of thing.
Yeah, they're going to have to because I'm starting to get a bit worried now. I can't have them lot winning the league.
When does yeah, I agree. When does the De Bruyne come back?
He was supposed to be out for 3 months, wasn't he? And he's been out for nearly August, September, October.
He'll be back in the new year. I think.
Early January. I'm guessing.
So I think that's got to be when they start kicking in. Is probably February-ish when he's got some training minutes under him.
Yeah, we kept. I know we're going back to it. We kept Rodri quiet, didn't we?
We did.
Yeah, those useless fullbacks playing in our defence. I mean, they did all right. They kept stepping out. I don't know if you noticed that they were stepping out and blocking the space that he would like to play the balls into, which was really interesting. And I think that's the first you'll hear on any Spurs podcast someone saying that. And this isn't a tactics podcast, but I spotted it quite a few times. So when people say, "Oh, your manager's just gung ho, he hasn't got a clue," crack on, mate. The guy knows he knows what he's talking about. He knows how to set up a team. You know, he's been doing it for many years. He's a winner. So he's not just saying to them, "Listen, guys, just go and run around a bit and just keep attacking." That's not him. That's not what he does. He's got a certain philosophy and a certain style. So I think we're done. Other than, please leave us a review because we're at quite a few thousand downloads now. Give us a follow at Hotspur Way Show. Soon, I think we're going to start doing some stuff on Instagram and TikTok. But yeah, it's going to happen in the new year, which will be fun. We'll just clip loads of Perchy up for you. And
go for it. Why not? I don't blame
Absolutely. Give us a 5-star rating and leave a bullshit review.
Yeah.
So the funniest reviews we'll read out, and we want some really saucy ones. You know, don't just say. Like we got a really nice review, which was nice, where someone wrote in on Twitter and they said just heard the pod for the first time, and sorry I can't name check you. You are, I don't have the tweet ready, but you have the you have the second best music after the Fighting Cock. And that's nice. I mean, it's we'll take our wins anywhere we can find.
I do like our music. That's true. I do like our music.
It's cool. My team put it together. I played them the come on the what's it called? Oh God, I should know this. What's that? Oh, Win the Spurs. Oh my God, I can't believe I forgot. Yeah, so Oh Win the Spurs. I played it to them and I said, do something with that. And they came up with this. And it took them like 15 minutes. So yeah, cool.
That's great.
I think we're done. It's been boring with us three. We need a woman on.
It has. We need more. I think we need more dick questions for Perchy, to be honest with you.
No, we don't.
We do. We need
Keep
a woman.
It football.
Ross, you need to come on next time. Okay, fuck the Fortnite stuff. And Hannah, we miss you loads. You know that. And
yeah, heart goes out, Hannah. Hopefully everything's good.
It will be. Everything's going to be cool. She's a warrior. I think that's it then. Perchy, you want to say anything? You want to plug anything?
No, I just want to say.
Do you want to say anything
keep
out?
listening, guys. This is a cool pod, man. And
well, I know it's the only one you're on.
Thursday, and we're back Tuesday when we've hopefully got 6 points by the time we get the next pod out.
Well, I was thinking if any of you want to jump on straight after the West Ham game, which will be well past midnight my time, if you want to do like a little focus quick pod after the game, we'll see. You up for it?
I'm game. I'm game.
You
depending on what time it is, yeah, of course.
Well, it'll be like depending on how VR plays up, either 2 hours or 2 hours and 15 minutes after the game.
So about 6 o'clock-ish. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll be done with your reports by then, won't you? That'll be all right.
For sure. My kids might be pissed off because they won't have dinner at that point, but they'll be fine. I'll just throw a sausage outside and chain them up to the fence or something. Of course, I'm kidding.
The funny thing is, you're probably not. So, all right, guys, listen. Say goodbye, Perchy.
Bye, Perchy.
I love it when he does that. See you later, Johnny.
See you, everybody.
Love you guys. Bye.
Bye, guys.